Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. I'm of course the Battle Room, and today I'm joined by Alex. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, doing good.
Doing good. Yeah. Today we're going to be watching the Gdansk regional finals. We've got I almost called him San Vito, Sanvi versus Teotime. Is that how you say it? Did I do it right?
Tail team.
Teo team. So we've got a pretty good finals here. This team was very dominant in this tournament. It did extremely well. Obviously, we'll hop into it, but it is a 6-1 mirror once again. We've got a mirror finals, which has happened quite a lot in Scarlet and Violet, which is kind of nuts.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, it just goes to show that, like, I don't know, working hard and preparing together for a tournament can be a uh, very successful way to do well at tournaments, I guess, basically. A proven method. Most strong players aren't doing it alone. Uh, I was thinking about this. I was like, I should have definitely asked Sammy a bit more about this yesterday when I was talking to him on Tub Takes. But I do believe that if they're both using this team at the tournament, they probably had to have like worked together and prepped matchups and such.
Yeah, and I think like in the open sheet era, it's changed a little bit. Whereas like I feel like in the past, it was actually kind of sometimes a detriment to work with someone. Like not to work with them, but like if you both ran the same team. Like I remember specifically at Worlds 2022, I was talking to Joe UX9, and he goes, one of your big weaknesses is that you and your two friends, Raghav and Kimo, all use the same team because then you guys just get scouted, and it makes it much easier to beat you. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks, Joe. But like it is like kind of true, right? Like back then when there were no open
Hmm.
sheets, it was a little bit harder. You were punished a little bit, but nowadays like using the same team, who cares? Like they can know my spreads, they can know my six. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, let's talk about this
Dude,
team.
Tom, do not launch into a closed team sheet discussion because I will go back on my soapbox. Yeah, let's definitely focus on the match.
So
Um,
so yeah, this is like just I would say like kind of an evolution of the Lele team that's been dominating the format.
for
That's won two
sure.
tournaments, and now instead of the Golden Go and the Sneasler, we have Basque Legion and Volcarona.
Yeah, and this notably allows a couple other changes. We see that Volcarona, because it has the fire type coverage, Incineroar gets to run something like Taunt, which can be really good at shutting down opposing annoying options, whether it's Trick Room or Spore or Yawn or Parting Shot. There's a lot of good uses for Taunt in this format, and then Volcarona doesn't really like fire types, especially like pure fire types. There's not a lot of like pure fire types in the format, but a Terra Fire Pokemon would completely resist Terra Fairy Blast, Terra Blast Fairy type, whatever, and then Heat Wave. And so Basque Legion helps cover that a lot. On top of it, just pairing well with the, fake outs, flip turning in and out. And it's a very solid end game with end game Pokemon with last respects too, of course.
Yeah, and then obviously we still have that Ursa, Luna, and Rillaboom. They haven't changed much, and they're just like it's just one of the best sets in the format, right? It helps you set up. It also beats enemy setup. So I'm gonna be very curious to see how they approach the mirror, right? Because Ursa Luna is very good into Volcarona. So is Basque Legion. So we'll have to see. But at the same time, if Volcarona gets going, it can just like run through this whole team, right? Like it is like a
Hmm.
really weird matchup, and we're gonna have to see how they approach it. At this point in the tournament, really, they haven't lost to like much of anything. Like this is like one of the most dominant runs from a team we've seen. I would say since the Tang team, where both Tangs met in the finals. I thought that was a pretty like that tournament. They clearly had the best team, and I feel like here these guys had the best team.
Hmm.
So yeah, how do you approach the mirror if you're these players, right? Do you try to set up the Volcarona, right? Obviously, you have Grassy Seed, which is a huge part of the tech here, and you have Intimidate, so you can slow down Basque Legion a little bit, or do you just try to like negate it with Yawn and your own Basque Legion?
Hey, I gotta admit, I mean, I watched this finals already, but I'm
Mm.
blanking a bit on how it plays out. I don't see a way for the players to get around the Volcarona. They both do lead the same thing, but I feel like Volcarona is just like the strongest thing here. And actually, I think we do end up seeing one notable difference play out in the finals here. And I don't know if the official paste has been released or not, or if the rumor mill is just cycling around, but Sandy is jolly on the Basket Legion, and maybe Teo Team is adamant because there will be one weird speed interaction, maybe in this first game, where Sanvi's Basket Legion moves, then Sanvi's Volcarona moves, then Teotime's Basket Legion moves, and the only way that could happen is if these Basket Legions have just entirely different speed stats.
So we're gonna see this Terra turn 1 from Sanvi. Yeah, it's really interesting. Jolly is like a strange choice, but at the same time, it makes a lot of sense with where the speeds are in the format, right? Being able to outspeed Dragonite at +1, Blood Moon and Tailwind. There's a lot of really, really big speeds that sit around that 200 mark, where Basket Legion sits as well. So we're just gonna see a Protect here. I also love that Sanvi has non-shiny Volk, shiny Bask, and then he's got shiny Volk, non-shiny Bask. We're just gonna see the Wave Crash come
I'm gonna
out.
have to give a point to Sanvi there because I do think, I mean, Shiny Volk's actually a pretty good shiny, but Shiny Bass is one of my favorites. That guy's so cool.
That guy's sick, yeah. So yeah,
all right, well,
that Wave Crash did so much.
yeah, it lived. You know, the Terra did its job. It did allow you to survive the turn. The problem is that you are going to die to any stray attack at this point, and that's the part that's scary. Not only are you in range of like a Heat Wave from another Volcarona, or you could also die to Grassy Glide from a Rillaboom. And you have to imagine that both of them are bringing the Rillaboom not just to get the Grassy Seed activated on their Volcaronas, but to keep that opposing Basket Legion in check. If you don't bring your Rillaboom, the fishes are going to go crazy, feels like. So I have to imagine both of them have it lying in the back. But yeah, I guess they didn't exactly approach it the same way from the start. So that's the thing that makes it a bit interesting. And this might be the turn that I was talking about, where we see the speeds play out in a bit of an interesting way.
Because yeah, he switches in. I think the Rillaboom switch is super fair there. Procking the Grassy Seed. Let's go.
Exactly. Wave Crash from Sanvi. First again, we did see it move before it last time. And then here's the key thing. Crits. I believe this Volcarona, does land the Terra Blast before the Basket Legion. And yeah, this is just like, again, this is a mirror finals, but Sanvi must have said at some point, you know, like, I like the perks of running Jolly Basket Legion. Probably not for the mirror, though. A lot of people love to joke about that in team building groups. Is like, all right, I'm gonna run your team, but speed creep you. Is that cool? You know, ha ha. But yeah, that joke aside, Sanvi must have found that the perks of Jolly were too good to pass up on, and Teo team might not have felt the same. And unfortunately, Jolly is looking pretty good in the mirror.
Yeah, Jolly's looking real nice, and also here, like, he does threaten this Wave Crash again. Like, even if the Volcarona sets up to, you do get to hit the Wave Crash because you're faster, most likely, than the enemy Volcarona as well. Just because Volcarona is, like, just not fast enough. Huge Flame Body proc there, not gonna lie. That's a nice burn.
It does mean that this Basket Legion will survive a Grassy Glide without having to get, like, Incineroar in for Intimidate. I mean, it's already taken some Wave Crash recoil. It's gonna take some more Wave Crash recoil. And also just a big critical hit. We might have had a good chance at seeing a reverse sweep here. Now, we saw, I don't know, the Wave Crash from the Adamant Basket Legion do about 90%. Not only is, or 95 maybe, even more. Not only was this one Jolly, but the Grassy Seed was activated on this Volcarona, so it was probably only going to do somewhere around 60%. And the Volcarona with Grassy Terrain and Intimidate in the back, the ability to Grassy Glide and pick off the Basket Legion. Had that crit and burn not happened, the rest of this game played out entirely differently, and I think Teo team probably ended up winning it.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been a really good spot. The Grassy Seed, too, like, you're getting the boost, you can threaten a potential Wood Hammer next turn, or you can just switch out, set Intimidate, get a little bit of healing, right? Like, they brought the same 4 Pokemon, and, you know, unfortunately, you got a little bit unlucky with that crit. And now it's time to just fake out Wave Crash, do as much damage as possible, and now Incineroar can just... I mean, it's Incineroar and Rillaboom, just clean up the game.
As much damage as possible being all of it, by the way.
All of it, yeah, a one-shot.
The fun part is... that yeah, Basket Legion, even though it is intimidated, it can still one-shot Incineroars. It might be a little bit due to the spreads that these players are running. I have to imagine these Incineroars are running a lot of speed to take advantage of the taunt and to taunt things before they can move, like opposing Incineroar's parting shots. But it's not an uncommon situation to run into another fast Incineroar and -1 wave crash dunking it, or at least with a little bit of help from like fake out. It's a nice thing to have in your pocket.
Yeah, so game one goes to Sanvi, but who is going to be winning the drip war here? There is no Raghav, but we do got to talk about the drip. We've got the ill server jersey from Sanvi. He's looking good. He's got a nice beard. I don't remember when he had a beard. And then we got a nice sweater on the other side, some glasses, hair swooped down above the eye. What are you thinking here? Who's winning the drip war?
Well, I don't think it's much of a competition. I'm gonna give it to the Teo team, but just because I'm not a fan of like esports jerseys. That said, I think esports jerseys are cool because it's a sign of growth in the game. That esports companies or whatever are taking the game seriously and seeing us as a good competitive avenue to invest in, whatever. But I don't know. The honestly, that said, I also do really like Teo team's sweater, shirt,
it's a good sweater.
Call it. I mean, yeah. It's just simple. It's not like logos or anything. Just 3 colors. That's dope.
It works. I think he wins it clean. I think that you're right about the jerseys are cool, but at the same time, also ill service jerseys got a little bit more respect on it. It's very sought after. But either way, yeah, it's got to go to Teo team. It's just so much better. But now, what are you doing in game 2? Obviously, I feel like they don't really have much of a choice. I feel like we're about to see a run back of the same 4 Pokemon. Oh, okay. We are going to see the same 2 for Sammy, but we are going to see Incineroar being led this time.
Yeah, I gotta say, I think Sammy got bailed out pretty heavily on that first game with how that one turn played out. Mm-hmm. And I think the real lesson here is, I don't know if I necessarily see it reflected in the game plan, but because Teo team did not lead Basket Legion, but I did not like Sanvi just taking that wave crash head on turn 1. Maybe Sanvi was expecting something else. I mean, it was a Terra Fairy, so maybe went for a covering play, expecting a flip turn or something like that. But Volcarona seems like the key in this matchup, the most important Pokemon, and so letting it take so much damage on turn 1 didn't really sit well with me. But this time, he's not going to have to worry about it. There's no Basket Legion on the opposing side just yet.
Oh wow, we're going to see the Wave Crash turn 1 go right into Incineroar. Incineroar does hang on, so that fake out that Sanvi did in game 1 there was actually enough damage. Yeah, that's the jolly for you, right? You lose that KO.
It is. I was thinking it. Yep.
I don't know, are we just going to see traded dances? I think we are. Yeah.
100%. And I do think that the first one is the biggest one, because not because of the special attack, not because of the special defense, but simply because of that speed. And we're going to see, the special attack completely negated here with a parting shot. But it means that this Volcarona has the option to put damage down on that Basket Legion on Teo team's side. And then if the Basket Legion is, chipped with a Wave Crash, with a Grassy Glide that's intimidated or something, the Volcarona can just kind of be responsible for its own fate with respect to this fish. And the fish is pretty much the only way to actually put damage on the Volcarona. At a certain point, they could just Quiver Dance up to +6 and just see who gets a crit first, or who ends up getting chipped down after several heat waves.
The Volcarona really is just the whole matchup here. They have to rely on it so heavily. We're gonna see this protect. Are we just gonna see the Amir turn? No, we aren't. We're gonna see the Wave Crash actually connect here. Wow, it does so much damage. I mean, it's -1, and there's no Grassy Seed, but still.
Right.
Heat
we
wave
see a Heat Wave as well, so maybe just trying to pick up the KO here. And then we see a bit of a revenge here in terms of hacks balancing out, because it always balances out. That Wave Crash looks like it was going to 2-hit KO this Volcarona without Intimidate or Grassy Seed coming into play. But now, not anymore. The Flame Body didn't activate, but Heat Wave did. It's actually kind of funny when it happens that way, because it's you could have just activated, the more likely way, but, 10% of the time, you get a second chance.
Yeah, and that burn is pretty big. Like Basket Legion's a huge part of the momentum and the aggression here, and also again, Sandvy's Basket Legion being jolly means it outspeeds the Volcarona even at +1, which I think is pretty big, right? Like because obviously it's not that way on the other side. So the Sandvy does always get hit a turn with his Volcarona here. It is the fastest Pokemon on the field.
We saw Sandy consider the switch, and that's because originally the plan was just offense is the best defense. I'm going to KO this Volcarona to prevent it from getting off another attack. But now, kind of having to give up on that because the wave crash here not going to pick up. We see just barely surviving thanks to the burn, but still sticking with it, deciding that the Pokemon in the back are not worth letting them take the hit. Terra Blast calling the Terra, not really calling it, but like more so covering it, because if Volcarona didn't Terra, of course the Wave Crash was easily going to KO it.
Yeah, and importantly there, I assume I don't know if it's a speed tie on the Volcaronas, but Sammy did move second twice, but I assume like you kind of got to be max speed. And so now we're just going to see traded Volcaronas. Yeah. That's a big flame body. There it is. But now it's just Fake Out Bros and Fish versus Fake Out Bros and Fish. Like, the big thing, I guess, is that Instant is, like, no HP. Also, if that burn didn't happen, I think the game was just over, right? Like...
Wait, which burn? The first one or the second one?
The second burn, right? Like, Sammy probably just loses if he doesn't get that burn. I guess maybe not. See. You could threaten Glide, but I feel like you could easily position a Fake Out attack there to get yourself into a good position.
Yeah, I would have to agree. With Rillaboom and Instant both lying in the back for KO team, there's a good chance. But now the Wave Crash not doing enough damage. I mean, Instant being this low definitely helps a little bit. And I think Instant over here, both full health. And so this is Regulation H currently. This is what it's come down to. Just Instant and Rilla closing out the end game. Can they do it? Usually they're supporting some kind of other piece, whether it's a Blood Moon or a Golden Go or a Volcarona, but now they just got to do it themselves, and I do think there's a good chance that they can. The big difference being that the Intimidate won't be affecting both of Teo Team's Pokemon here. And then also we gotta see how the fake out speed relations line up, because there are 3 fake outs active on the field right now.
I do think that Samvy's play is really safe, right? Like, you're getting a KO here no matter what. If they withdraw the Fish, that means you KO Instant with fake out. And if they withdraw Instant, that means you KO the Fish with knockoff. But still, like, I think it's still worth. I don't know if Basket Legion can go the distance is the issue. Because you probably have to... It probably just feints to... Well, obviously feints to Glide, but I just think the burn is too much, and, like, you're just going to be able to get that KO onto Incineroar. Or you aren't going to be able to get that KO onto Incineroar, which is the guy you need to beat.
Yeah. Like you were saying, without the burn here, the way that this would likely play out is Rillaboom fakes out Rillaboom, and then Basket Legion just wave crashes Instant for a KO, and then while the Rillaboom on the opposing side is chipped, the Rillaboom on Sanvy's side has to spend a turn targeting the Basket Legion, and then probably loses a 1v1. Not to mention that Sanvy is intimidated, and Teo Team's Rillaboom is not intimidated, so they would hammer each other a couple of times, and eventually Teo Team would come out on top. There's a chance that this still does it, though. Let's see. Could be.
Holy.
No, got very close. And
now
we're pretty much seeing... not exactly a reversal of it, but like a bit of a reversal of what I was just describing, where Rillaboom was going to have to target Basket Legion for a turn. But now we're going to see the opposite, where Teo Team has to spend a turn KOing this Incineroar, doesn't want to allow it to have a free knockoff onto Rillaboom, just adding up damage, or parting shot. Anyway, either way, just extending the, or increasing the chances that the Rillaboom will win the 1v1.
Yeah, and it is really close because he is -1. Like, this mirror is actually just so nasty. Like, it is. Like, sometimes mirrors can be very skillful. We've watched plenty on the channel before, but, like, this one just kind of comes down to, like, it's not even speed ties or anything. It's just, The trading is just so nuts, and like those little small, whether it's a crit, whether it's a those burns. Like obviously they both got burned, but you just kind of lose the game. Also, holy shit, that instant just outsped Rillaboom. That's actually really really big.
Yeah.
That's
It's got to
huge.
be Jolly Max Rillaboom, I have to imagine, and then or sorry, Jolly Max Incin,
Hmm.
and then the Rillaboom could be anywhere between no speed and faster than Pelipper or faster than Blood Moon, stuff like that. But another thing to look out for is Sandvy's moved first twice now, so not 100% sure. And now that they are both -1, and Sandvy had a little bit of extra help
Yeah.
from the damage that Rillaboom took on the way in, so it's looking like Sandy might actually be able to come out on top here. And that he's healed first as well. I didn't pay attention the past couple turns, but Sandy might just be running the faster Rillaboom again. Maybe they didn't exactly agree on what the speed stats should be, or Sandy just brutally speed crept Teo team and just said, that's tough, buddy. I'm just one speed point faster.
Yeah, I mean the speeds were huge. Like whether it was with the Basque Legion in game one being Jolly, and then also just having the faster Rillaboom right here. If you want to run this team, you got to be the faster one, dude.
I guess. I gotta say though, in terms of the way that mirrors play out, this one didn't seem the most brutal. It seems like they
Mhm.
had like a decent number of turns to work for an advantage,
Mhm.
to make the right decisions. And yeah, I feel like the worst mirrors are when there's Pokemon that speed tie and Oko each other.
Yeah.
These Rillabooms wood hammering each other at the end of the day was actually just it felt like a chess end game where like you both just have like kings and pawns or something. Like there's
Mhm.
nothing actually that exciting going on or whatever. You just both steadily working towards. But like in this case, Sanvi had a material advantage. He was ultimately going to win if he
Yeah.
just played it safe and just kept wood hammering and trading and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the mirror wasn't super toxic. It was pretty aggressive too, with the Basque Legions. But yeah, it was a fun set to watch. A little bit lucky, but it is what it is. It's
Oh
Pokemon.
yeah,
With the flame, you got flame bodies, you got speed ties. Um, it can
critical
get a little
hits.
nasty. Critical hits, yeah. It was a little nasty finals, but yeah. Congrats to Sanvi for winning it all. When Chuppa wins, Sanvi's got to win. It's just the fate of the world, and here we are.
It's so funny. Also, if you want to hear more from Sanvi, you can check out our interview with him on Tub Takes, which was kind of fun. We did
I'll link
that
that down below.
yesterday. It should be on YouTube. And also, he's a completely different person. We were talking about the drip war. He's shaved entirely, so that entire beard that's there in the finals is now just gone. So hilarious.
Yeah, if you want to check that out, obviously I'll link it down below so you can go see the interview with Sanvi and also with Fede Campo. A lot of good insight into this tournament and how it went for them. And also, if you want to get better at Pokemon, Alex does do coaching, so I'll link that down below as well. Alex is a great coach. He's had a lot of students become very successful, and I myself, I'm friends with Alex, but he kind of coaches me a little bit when we practice. So, and I found a lot of success working with Alex. So if you want to get coached, I'll link that down below. And thank you for joining me, Alex. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace out, peeps.